Check one, check two, since you know what to do. What's going on, family? Grace and peace, grace and peace. It's your boy Pop. We back in the building. Day 22. Listen, I want to thank y'all so very much. I pray that this live meet reaches you well. It is 5:08 in the AM. We back on the early morning tip. And so I just wanted to get right to it on this morning. We've been dealing this week on, or the last few days. Last on day 21, we talked about monetizing your content. So, I'm not big on recapping. So what you can actually go ahead and do is you can go back to day 21. You can check the monetizing your content. I will let you know that that is going to really set you free, because a lot of us are not selling or feel icky or feel salesy or feel like a sleazy salesman when we are talking about our offer, or trying to market or sell our offer. And what we established simply is that you monetizing your content is a necessity, right? You have something that someone needs, and your expertise, your knowledge, your information deserves, and your value, right? And your time and your energy, it is worth, and it is worth you getting paid for it, right? It just is. And so we went through not only how to monetize your content, but we went through, shifting our mindsets to understand the necessity of us selling, and how selling is not a selfish thing. It's actually the sustainable thing. And by you selling, you are giving the solution that you have to the person who really needs it, and they're going to be able to get the transformation that they need because you decided to offer them what it is that you have. So go back to day 21 and check that out. A bit of house cleaning rules. If you have been enjoying this particular series, and we're going to continue to go live as well over these next couple of days and weeks, then do me a favor. Go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe. Share it with someone. Let somebody know. And you can go and binge watch the other episodes, because it's going to give you all the information and all the game that you need to get to this point where you're going to be able to then accelerate once you get here, right? Because you've gone through all of the other steps along the way. Also, every single live, I'm presenting slides. So if you want the slides that I have, that I present, I can create a space where you would be able to access these slides, so you could have them archived, you can have them in your arsenal. So let me know in the comments if you would like the slides, and I will create a space and give you access to the slides. I'm not going to charge you for it. That's going to be my gift to you. All right. So without further ado, let's get into today's live. So what we're going to be covering today on day 22 is creating your first offer. Creating your first offer. Okay. Product, service, or course. We've been talking this for these next couple of days. We'll be talking about how to monetize your content, how to create your offer. Tomorrow, I'll let you, I'm not even going to leak out what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Stick it around to the end, and I'll leak out what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Okay. But this right here is going to give you a very fundamental understanding of, if you haven't created an offer yet, what in what direction you can move in. Okay. So just to give you some clarity in that regard. Okay. So here we go. So you want to monetize, but you don't know what to sell, right? Can we testify? All right. Should it be a product, a service, a course? Okay. And you're paralyzed by these options. You will scroll up and down social media, and people will be telling you everything. Sell a course, sell a service, sell a this, sell a that. And every single person that you come across, or every guru that you come across, is going to tell you something different, right? They're going to tell you something different. Someone's going to say sell a course. Someone's going to say don't sell a course. Some people are going to say, this is the type of service that you like, and it can get confusing, and you can be paralyzed because you just don't know what direction to go. And so I want to make sure that we do that. You're no longer stuck with that. All right. I don't want you to be paralyzed. I want you to be unstuck. I want you to get unstuck. So you do nothing, right? Listen, how many of us just don't do anything, right? When we get stuck, when we don't know which direction to go, we simply just do nothing. And you know the frustration of just sitting and just feeling helpless because you know you need to do something, you just don't know what to do, right? And you're confused about it, and then that sits you in your seat. I know that I've been there 1,001 times. I've been there 1,001 times. And so this is why clarity, and this is why clarity, and this is why we're doing this live today, because I want to make sure that this is no longer your testimony, your story. So months go by, you're still creating free content, right? Because you don't know what to offer. You're creating free content. You're continuing to give all your value away for free. Why? Not because you necessarily want to or desire to, because like we talked about in day 21, your bank account is hurting, right? You're not making any money. You feel sleazy with selling, right? But here's the thing: if you are not making profit, if you're not making money, if you are desperate for money, right, in your business, then you can't really show up confidently and consistently because you got bigger fish to fry. You got bills to pay. You got family. Like there is a whole lot of other things that fall by the wayside when your bank account is not where it's supposed to be. A lot of things fall by the wayside. That stress, that anxiety, that worry, right? You can't show up with confidence and consistently with clarity when you have all of those things in the background. And so, this is another reason why selling your offer is so very important, or creating an offer for you to sell and not just continuing to give your value away for free, because you have you have to live. You got to eat too, and it's all right. And when you're eating and when you are able to handle those things, if you're able when you're able to handle your bills, when you're able to make sure that you're providing for your family, when all of those things are well, when all of those things are in alignment, when all of those things are taking care of themselves, then you it frees your mental, emotional, spiritual space for you to be able to then pour that energy back into the audience and back into the people who are who are um who have invested in you and invested in your product or your service. So this becomes a beautiful ecosystem of reciprocity, right? But when we don't know what to offer, we're spinning our wheels, and you're giving your value away for free, hoping and praying that someone will eventually ask you to pay you. And guess what? I don't know if that really ever happens. I don't know if I mean it does. I'm sure in some makes sense, but for the most part, people are not going to cheat. People are not going to be asking you to pay you, especially if you're giving it away for free. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be very, very mindful of that. And a lot of the times, giving away free is somewhat of a defense mechanism because we don't feel confident to sell anything and we don't know what to sell. So we just say, oh, well, here, just continue to just here, take this free value, just take this free value, right? And again, in hopes that a person is going to say, oh man, you're giving me so much for free. Let me go ahead and just give you some money. You know what I'm saying? And that's not, unfortunately, sometimes it does happen. I'm not going to say it never does, but people are not going to necessarily be quick to just say, all right, you know what, here, you've been giving me so much, like, here, take my money. So we have to have an offer. We have to package that offer, and we have to be able to clearly communicate that offer so that this way we can then turn those people who are consuming our free content into customers that are going to purchase our paid content. And I always preface it by saying, and I've said it on day 21, this is my free content, but you can only imagine what my paid content is like. You know what I mean? Like the free content still has to be so good and on par that people take notice, and they take notice and they believe, and you show them that if I'm giving this away for free, you can only imagine what I'm gonna give you when we become more committed to each other with a paid type of situation. All right. So all right, let's get on the good foot. So, so you're still giving away free content. You're still not making any money. Meanwhile, others are launching and winning. All right, they're launching, and they're winning. They are getting out there. They're getting out there. They are, again, perfection is not the name of the game here, right? Perfection is not the name of the game here. All right. Right now, we're just trying to package an offer, put something, put. I'm not going to say put something together because I don't want to minimize it. It still has to be quality, especially if you want people to pay for it. It still has to be quality. However, we don't want to overthink. We don't want to overthink this either. Okay. We want to keep our offers as simple as possible, simply because if we do not, we're going to confuse ourselves, and if we're confused ourselves, then we are going to confuse the messaging that is put out in regards to the offer, and we're going to confuse our potential client or buyer, and they're going to scroll on by. So the more simple, clear, and concise our offer is, the easier it's going to be for us to communicate it, and that is going to increase exponentially the probability that someone is going to purchase our offer because they can understand it. Okay, so this is the importance of having an extremely clear offer, and we'll get into that in just a minute. So here's the truth. Your first offer doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? It just has to solve a problem. And this is that's the key. We just want to find a problem to solve and be able to speak clearly to that problem which we solve. So you start simple and you start now. Okay? Here's what we want to keep in mind. We are trying to solve a problem with our offer. We're not trying to solve all of our clients. We are not trying to solve all of our clients' problems. Okay? That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to solve all of our clients' problems. We're simply trying, okay? We're simply trying to solve a problem. Last week, our takeaway or our homework from day 21, our homework was to figure out at least three problems that identify three problems from our target audience, our ideal audience, right? And to start to think about a solution to that problem. And that's where we wanted to start in in getting ourselves ready in preparation for today and building out our offer. Okay, so that's what we are looking to. We are looking to solve a problem. Start simple. Start now. All right. So, what problem do I solve best? Here's what we want to ask ourselves. Okay, what should your offer be? You have to ask yourself, what problem do I solve best? What problem do you solve best? Okay. Number two, what do people already ask me for help with? And number three, what can I deliver with confidence? Okay, your offer equals your experience plus their need. All right, I want you to let that soak in. I want you to I want you to just screenshot this slide because this is big. Okay, these three questions are going to be the foundation to the offer that you create. All right. Now, if I can just tell you a quick story. So, one of my first offers a couple years back was I did a master class on my three And let me know if this is something that y'all want me to go over, because I haven't done it in a while. This was a couple years ago. Um, I did a video masterclass on how to create videos with confidence, how to speak in front of the camera. I think at the time I had like three or four steps, three or four step system that I think it was 3 step system that helped you to be able to create videos with confidence. I talked about man, it's actually, oh, there's so many, so many years ago. I don't even remember what the 3 step system was, but nonetheless, the reason why I came up with it was because people would hit me up in the DM and they'd be like, "Man, like, you're so confident on camera. Like, your videos have so much energy, and your energy resonates, and I'm attracted to, it's something that really sticks out to me, and it grabs my attention." And they were asking me, like, how do you show up so confidently on camera? And so, because so many people were asking me how I show up so confidently and how I'm able to communicate that way and things along those lines, and people were genuinely curious and interested, I decided to create that video masterclass. And I think it was like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or something like that, where I just talked about how I'm able to how I'm able to speak so confidently in front of the camera. And like I said, I think it was like a 3 step system, and I recorded it right on my camera or my phone or something like that, like something very similar to the setup that I have right now. I mean, it was probably not as good of quality because I didn't have 4K, and all of that type of stuff. But it was the same similar kind of setup, and I put it up on Gumroad. If you're not familiar with Gumroad, check it out. It's literally Gumroad, like chewing gum and road, gumroad.com. And that is a platform that allows you to upload digital products. You can upload courses. You can upload, master classes, videos, anything that you want to sell. You can put it up on there, and literally you can send a link to your Gumroad account, and people can go ahead and purchase it right from there. Now, Gumroad does take a piece from everything, that a small percentage of what it is that you do sell. So you do want to keep that in mind. But as far as getting started, right? As far as getting started, if you don't have any other platform that you use to be able to upload your digital course or your digital product for you to be able to sell it, like if you don't have a CRM, a Go High Level, a Kajabi, what's the other one? Kartra, whatever that. If you don't have any of those CRMs, then you don't have to worry about creating a landing page and doing all of those things. You can literally go to Gumroad. You can upload your product to Gumroad, and just to get started, you'll be able to go on socials. You can create content around the offer that you have, and you can put the link to the actual product, the direct link to the product in the bio in your social media, on your social media, in your social media bio. And you can do like a ManyChat. If you're not familiar with ManyChat is a third party integration with I believe it's with Facebook, it's with Instagram. I think you might even be able to it might even be connected to TikTok as well. But anyway, it's a DM automation. Like, so if you are from if you see a piece of content, if a creator creates a video and they'll say, in the comments, drop this word in the comments, and you'll get this, you'll get access to my newsletter, you'll get a link to my ebook or whatever that happens to be, and you comment that keyword, and automatically you're sent a DM with with that information, with the link or whatever have you. A lot of the creators are using ManyChat to actually do that, right? So it's a great service. It's a great service for you to have, because it allows you to not have to worry about if you post something and the person leaves a keyword, it automatically, you set everything up on the back end, so that makes it so you don't have to manually go in and manually send a person a DM with the link to your product and things along those lines. So it just makes everything more streamlined. So the reason why I mention that is because when you want to remove any obstacle from somewhere, any obstacle or any what's the word objection to someone purchasing your product, you want to remove all of that. So any roadblocks, anything that's going to that is going to potentially hinder them in any way, shape, or form in getting directly to to your product, you want to erase that, right? So ManyChat helps you to make sure that there's no waiting period. So as soon as they comment that word, boom, they get a they get a DM with the link to your product, right? The reason why you want to take the direct link from Gumroad and put it in for your product and put it directly into your Instagram or your whatever social media platform bio is so that this way, if someone comes across your bio and they see what it is that you do and it resonates with them and they see that link, they're going to click on that link and take them directly to that and that will take them directly to your product. So you're not having to they're not having to fish around. They're not trying to have to find anything. They're not spending time and energy trying to pinpoint and find where your product is, because more than likely, if they have to spend more than you know whatever the time is, if they have to, let me say it this way, if they have to spend more time than they want to, think about it, they're trying to spend money with you. So if they have to spend, they're not going to overexert themselves and spend energy trying to find where they need to spend money at, right? Make it very streamlined, very simple for them to go from your social media marketing, your social media post where you marketed the offer, to your offer as seamless as possible. And that's going to exponentially, and I'm using that word again, increase your selling, or increase the probability of them purchasing your offer. All right, purchasing your product or your service. All right. Oh, that's wrong. Okay, that was day 21. Okay, so here's the 3 questions once again. What problem do I solve best? What do people already ask me for help with? What can I deliver with confidence? Okay? All right, cool. And we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So 3 types of offers. You have a service, which is done for you, coaching, consulting, design, right? You have product, which is done with you, templates, guides, toolkits, right? Those things are always pretty cool. Course, you can do a course, you can do it yourself, video training, membership, right? So you can pick one, launch it, and refine later. All right. So we're starting simple. We're discovering a problem, and we're figuring out the best way to facilitate the best way to facilitate the solution to that problem. So I'll put that slide back up. But here's what I think is extremely and vitally important. When you are creating these offers, remember, you are identifying a problem and you are aligning your expertise with that problem, because your expertise is the solution to that problem. Okay? So I don't want us to overthink this. Okay? Ask yourself, how do you show up best? Okay? Are you better on camera? If you're better on camera, then maybe you want to do a mini course. Maybe you want to do a masterclass. Maybe those might be the avenue in which you want to go through, right? You can get on your camera. You can script out what it is that you want to. If you have a 2-step system, 3-step system, 4-step system on how your audience can get a particular result, then get on camera, script it out, and you record it. You can do anywhere from if you wanted to do 4 videos, right? Addressing each part of your system. right? Then that's very simple. Even if you do it 4, 5, 6, I wouldn't go really past 7 minutes of video. You know what I mean? But you can if you would like, and you all you have to do with, like I said, with Gumroad is that you can go ahead and upload each one of those videos into Gumroad and put a description, put a title to it, put a price to it, right? And get that thing out there, right? If you want to, if you're better written, if you have a 4-step system and you want to create a mini ebook or a PDF or even even if you have some templates for people who are, if you have content templates, or if you have templates on how someone is able to well, templates that they'll be, sales templates or whatever that happens to be, that someone can rinse and reuse and customize to their particular brand or business, then and you want to package those templates, those go really really well too, because then that solves a problem of someone having to create these things from scratch, right? They already have something that's proven that works, and they can just pretty much plug their information in. So templates also do work. So if you are more systematic in your thinking and you like to write, then templates, mini ebooks, things along those lines might kind of be the direction that you want to move in, which is also cool. Okay, what I'm basically trying to highlight here is that you want to do something, or pick an option that is native to you already, something that you are already good at doing and feel comfortable doing. Because if you already feel comfortable doing it, then it's going to make it easier for you to show up and get it done, right? As opposed to you trying to pick something that you really aren't. If you're not good on camera, then doing a mini course or doing a master class probably not what you want to do, right? Simply because you're not comfortable in front of the camera. So that the mere fact that you're not comfortable in front of the camera is going to be a roadblock to you showing up and actually doing it, and it's going to you're going to prolong it, you're going to put it off, you're going to prolong it, you're going to put it off, and you're only going to make yourself feel worse and worse, right? Because you're going to fall back into that cycle of being paralyzed. So whatever is native to you, whatever you're already organically good at, right? And you feel comfortable with, then that is kind of what you want. That's what you want to tap into when you're creating your offer. Okay. So again, you have your service, you have your product, you have your course. All right. Those are your three. Those are your three. And again, we're not aiming for perfection. We're not trying to solve all of our people's problems. We're just trying to solve a problem, and we're trying to get them a result as quickly as we possibly can. All right. So we have to ask ourselves, which one of these types of offers are going to help me, are going to be easiest for you to be able to do, most native to you, that you can do quickly and get and distribute quickly, so that this way you can get the solution to that problem out as fast as possible, right? And we want to ask ourselves, in our offer, how quickly are we able to get our people, or the person who's going to ultimately purchase this product, how quickly can I get them the result that they're looking for? All right. Because if you can get them the result quickly, they're going to keep coming back. They're going to keep coming back. All right. So here's our action step today. I told you we wasn't going long today, right? Because I want you to get to action. I don't want you to be spending and wasting a whole bunch of time. Give it to you quickly, right? Very clearly, concisely, so that this way you can get into action. You can put this stuff to action. All right. So your offer builder. So you want to create one simple offer this week. One simple offer this week. Okay, and here's a foundation of what you're going to build off. Number one, what problem does it solve? Okay, what problem does it solve? And I'm going to add another piece to that. What problem does it solve? Okay, and how quickly does it solve the problem? All right, so if you're offering 6-pack abs, right? If you're offering 6-pack abs, okay, cool. Here's your 4-step system on how to get 6-pack abs within in 7 days, in 14 days, in 9 days, whatever that happens to be. I want you to be cognizant of how fast you can get them the result. Now, is everybody going to get the result in 7 days? Absolutely not. Shout out to Dan and shout out to Travis. They're the ones who really, really, really helped me to understand the importance, even as far as from a marketing standpoint, how important putting a time frame on the result is, right? Think about it. If you know that in 7 days I'm going to get this result, then once you lock that into your mind, you're then able to bear whatever it is that comes along with that. You know what I'm saying? So like, if it's six pack abs, okay, if I gotta eat right, if I only gotta eat eggs and freaking broccoli for a whole week, I can bear that because I know that in 7 days I'm gonna get the result that I want, right? So if you can put a time frame on the result, then people are more than likely to tap into the process because you have given them something that they can look forward to. They have given them a time frame that they know that they can literally count down. Okay, day 6. All right, I got 4 more days. All right, I got 3 more days. I got 2 more. You know what I'm saying? So that becomes a benchmark, or that becomes something that they can focus on. So even when they may not necessarily enjoy the process, they may not enjoy eating eggs and broccoli every day. However, they know that on that 7th day, yo, they gonna be good. They gonna be beach ready, right? And of course, that's an example. You probably won't be able to get anybody 6-pack abs in 7 days, and if you do, holla at me because I would love to know about that. But what I'm saying is that when you want to know not just the result but how long. And now let me preface this by saying this: that might get you a little anxious, like, well, I don't know if I could actually have them do it in 7 days. I don't know if they'll actually be able to do it in 14 days. Don't worry about that. Okay. If you know that you can get them the result in 7 days or 14 days, whatever that happens to be, right? And these are just numbers that I'm throwing out there. It could be less, could be more. If that person actually follows your procedure, actually follows the steps, actually puts in the work, then they would be able to accomplish your said result in the time frame that you say, if they follow your lead, if they do what it is that you tell them to do and how you tell them to do it. So if the ideal person will follow what it is that you tell them to do, then they will get the result. Now, and that's all you can promise. If they do not do what it is that you tell them to do, then if they don't get the result in the time frame in which you said that they will, then that's not on you. Okay? That's not on you. So you don't have to feel anxious about that. All right? You don't have to feel anxious about that. You don't have to feel bad about that. There are certain things that you will not be able to control, and that's one thing. You won't be able to control how people consume it. If they actually follow it step by step, you can't control that. Okay? So don't allow that to hinder you. But so with your offer, I hope that makes sense. So with your offer, what problem does it solve? I would, like I said, if you can, and you may not be able to right now, that's fine. If this is your first offer, you may not know exactly how long. You may not be able to put a time frame on it. That's fine. But just moving forward as we advance and finalizing our systems, tightening up our processes, then we want to we want to factor in at some point being able to put a time frame to that offer. Okay, so not only what it solves, but how fast does it solve it? Who is it for? We want to ask ourselves, who is it for? What's included in it? What's the price? Okay, what's included in it? What's the price? All right, now you can, as far as pricing is another tricky thing. You can always do some research just to actually see what other people in your industry are charging for what it is that you are, what it is that you're looking to do. Whatever your offer includes in it, you can do some research on if there's somebody in your niche, somebody in your industry who is offering something similar, or if you've seen something similar. You could always research just to kind of see a ballpark of what the pricing is. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go with that pricing. You could always customize it, yourself. You could always customize it however you see fit. However, it's always good to get somewhat of a price range, so you know where you kind of want to fall. All right, because you don't want to overprice, but you most certainly don't want to cut yourself short either. All right. So that's what we want. That's what we want to consider. Maybe I'll do a video on how to properly price your how to properly price your product or your offer. Okay. So this is what. So drop offer builder done in the comments if you're about that life. If you're about that life. If you ain't about that life, then don't drop nothing. Don't drop nothing if you ain't about that life. But create one simple offer this week. All right. And I want to know. I want to know about it. What is the name of the offer? What you're gonna. Well, you don't have to go in detail of what you'll be offering. That's all good. But I want to know. Have you developed your offer? Let me know in the comments. I want you to also, hit me up on Instagram. On my Instagram is at Pop the Creative. You can hit me up on TikTok at Pop the Creative, and just let me know what you're gonna be creating, right? What offer you're gonna be creating, and I would love to hear from you. And listen, let's go win. Let's go win. Let's go win. We ain't got it. We don't have to overthink this. Let's create a very simple offer where let's solve a problem, and let's get this thing up. Gumroad. You can. There's Gumroad. There's so many different platforms that make it super easy for you to upload your digital products. Again, if you don't have a Go High Level or a Kartra or any of these, robust CRMs, you can use Pensite. There is, and I'll leave some of them. I'll leave the links to some of these platforms. Sorry, my nose itchy for some reason. I'll put some of the links to the platforms that you can check out in the description today as well. All right. So, love you to life. Let me pray over you, pray over your business, pray over your offer, and I'm going to let you have your day. Father, we thank you today, Lord, for your loving kindness and your blessing. Thank you for gifting us with yet another day, reasonable, and waking us up with a reasonable portion of health and strength and in our sound minds. Thinking about great and gratitude to you for granting us another day, but also blessing us with the opportunity to learn something that is going to help us to push our business forward. Offers are sometimes daunting. They're sometimes intimidating. But Lord, my prayer is that today I've demystified offers a little bit. That my brother, my sister will understand that they have the expertise already. They have the knowledge. They have the know-how already. All they have to do now is identify a problem that they can solve quickly and create an offer around that particular solution and get it out in the marketplace. And we've talked about for weeks now how to create their content and how to market their content, and everything that they've learned up to this particular point in time is going to help them to be able to create content that is clear, that is concise, and allow them to show up confidently to promote this offer or this solution to the problem that they currently have. So I'm praying for any paralysis, any stand stillness, any intimidation, any anxiety that they have with creating this offer. Help them to understand that the simpler, the better, and help them to create an offer that is going to spark the attention, that's going to capture the attention of their ideal audience, and that will sell. I pray for sales. I pray for visibility. I pray for testimonials. I pray for them being able to generate recurring revenue and income and profit into their business while they sleep, as they create this product and put it up on a platform. and make it available to people and talk about the offer, that people will resonate with the solution, and they will buy it. Lord, I pray, Lord Father, that as we continue to march forward, I'm praying for profitability. I'm praying for sales. I'm praying for clients. I'm praying for conversions, oh God. And Lord, I'm praying for our businesses to take off, that our businesses will be able to not only sustain us, but it will be able to sustain our families, and that we will be able to have kingdom businesses, that we are operating in integrity, that we are operating with character, Lord, and that you will be able to bless us because of that. So help us to be good stewards over the knowledge, expertise, and information that we have, and help us to put out products, Lord Father, not just for money, but more so as a gift to those who need it, so they can get the transformation that they need, that they desperately stand in need of. I thank you and we praise you, and for this is the day that you have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. So please forgive us for all of our sins and cleanse us of all unrighteousness is our prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, family. Love you to life, and we'll check you tomorrow. We back on our 5 a.m. I said I was gonna leak out. What we're gonna be talking about tomorrow. So tomorrow we are talking about how to build a simple sales funnel from content to customer. All right, so that's what we're gonna be talking about tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about how to walk your customer from content, from just consuming your content, seeing your content. We're going to be walking them down into your sales funnel that's going to take them to your product, or take them to your service. Okay? So this word conversion, we're going to be diving into that on tomorrow. So you want to tap in for that. All right? So I'm going to see you then, God willing. Have a great day. Peace.